I'm going to show you how to get rid of puffy eyes, okay? It's so easy. All you have to do is understand the mechanism. There's a lot of fancy terms for puffy eyes, periorbital edema. All you need to know is it's called eye bags, and unfortunately, the medical profession treats this condition with drugs, steroids, antihistamines, all sorts of medications. And I'm not telling you not to take your medication. I just want to give you another viewpoint on this. I mean, if you look up the Wikipedia page, it'll say potentially it could be caused from the hypothyroid, insomnia, infection, allergy, and a whole bunch of other causes, which are so rare. And the bigger cause, the more common cause, isn't even mentioned at all. And the reason I know a lot about this is I had puffy eyes for many years. I didn't know what it was, but once I did this one thing, it completely cleared up. Now, on the wiki page, there's two little things that were interesting, okay? They did mention one cause being high levels of sodium, okay, which is definitely true. And also they mentioned a low-carb diet could help prevent puffiness of the eyes, which I found very interesting too. And they had also a little data, using cucumber slices on your eyes or cold packs. Yeah, maybe that might help for a second, but it doesn't really correct the problem. Yes, many times the kidneys are involved. And yes, there's usually a sodium problem as well. But both of these conditions are stemming from too much sugar in your bloodstream. I mean, even if you take a look at the number one cause of kidney disease, it's diabetes. What is diabetes? High levels of sugar. So when you look at someone's eyelids and they're puffy, yeah, it could be related to the kidney, but we want to go deeper. And here's the simplicity of it. This is what you need to know. When there's too much sugar in the bloodstream, you're going to have too much insulin in the bloodstream. You'll eventually develop insulin resistance. Both of these situations causes your body to hold sodium. More salt is retained when you consume sugar. And if you do this for a long period of time, it'll overload the kidneys and it'll actually back up into the system. And it shows up in the eyelids, sometimes even before other parts of your body. I was at a restaurant about 2 or 3 months ago, and I remember seeing an overweight kid with an overweight dad just chowing down serious amounts of carbs. And both of them had really puffy eyes. I was very tempted to go over there and talk to them, but I didn't do it. My wife said, no, you better not do that. But I think a lot of people are not aware that it's coming from the sugar. So sugar causes the retention of fluid because of the retention of sodium. There's a couple other things that happen. Number one, the depletion of potassium. You start to become potassium deficient when you consume carbs. Partly what happens is when you store this excess sugar, it gets stored as something called glycogen, which is basically a series of glucose molecules strung together with the help of potassium. So you need potassium to store this sugar as glycogen in your liver and the muscles. And so the more sugar you eat, the more potassium gets kind of stored away and stuck in this storage system of glucose called glycogen. Two other things happen. You start to develop more sympathetic dominance. That means that your flight or fight mechanism is more activated, and that's the stress mechanism. Also, another thing is increased called renin. It's a hormone, and both of these things, the sympathetics and renin, retain sodium as well. So we have a lot happening in relationship to the holding of fluid and the retention of sodium and a depletion of potassium. And of course, when you eat junk food, what's junk food? Sugar, starch, MSG, monosodium glutamate. Boy, the next day you'll probably notice your eyes are puffy. That is what we're talking about. If you want to know how to fix it, very simply, you want to get this sugar out of your diet, and you can also start taking potassium and or start eating foods high in potassium. If you want a really good video on exactly what to eat to help you with that, I put it up right here. Check it out.